Fitting it well enough. Everybody's really showing up.
I'm going to call the December 9th, 2025 meeting of the Lake County Board of Elections to order. If we could all please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you and welcome everyone. If we could please have the roll call.
Clerk Brown.
Here.
Mark Henry Reed. Present. Mr. Mellon.
I am here.
John Reed.
Here.
And Sharon Smith.
I am here. We are all present. All members are present in person. We do have a quorum. On the agenda, the next order of business is the approval of the September 23rd, 2025 board meeting minutes. I'll entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
Motion to approve, Mr. Chair.
The motion is there a second? Second. Second by Mr. Reed. Motion by Clerk Brown to approve the meeting minutes of 9/23/25. All those in favor? I'm sorry, is there any discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Under old business, we have whole location change. I assume that this is locations we've received for, I think there's one in Gary and one in Chicago.
Yes. We're doing that in January because Randy's.
Yes, I was just laying the record, but yes, so I believe there's one location in Gary, one location in Chicago. I believe we have people present here, or they were present here for that.
Yes.
Correction. I believe this poll location change is regarding to G326 and G43.
Yes.
The other one in East Chicago, I think, is about the early voting.
Okay, you're right. Okay, there's two locations in Gary. One is G43 and one is G46.
So G326. They were both, I believe, over at, were they at Petra Park before?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, and we received a request for locations. When we receive a request for a change in location, we generally want to make sure there's some meeting of the minds between the chairman or the precinct committeeman or whatever the case may be before it comes to the board for a decision. In this instance, we recently received an email from the Republican chairman of the county, Chairman Niemeyer, indicating that that the folks within the communities aren't decision makers and that he would like to speak on that. So we're going to defer those to January.
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Clerk.
I'd also like to add that the precinct committee man, Mr. Bruce McKenzie, came forth made this request. He was here this morning. I let him know about the Republican chairman's concerns about the movement. As city chair of the city of Gary, I support what we like to do. So we would like for the county chair to respond by next meeting because we have waited for several meetings for this decision, and I'm in support of the request from the precinct committee, and we would like for the Republican Party to give us some time response. We've been patient and we've deferred, and again, we're trying to be respectful for the Republican chairman as well as the county council. So we certainly want to move with this matter at the next meeting day because I do feel like it's somewhat of an inconvenience to have our people come out here for this reason and not allowed to be able to speak.
Yeah, I saw the precinct committeeman needed some assistance to get in and out of here, so I know it's an effort.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, at our last meeting, we scheduled this for the January meeting. This was not scheduled for this meeting.
Okay, I didn't know that.
I didn't even.
We did it as a 4-day group because we had discussed the fact that that Mr. Niemeyer's schedule conflicted in December and it's just going to be scheduled for January. So
I didn't remember that. I didn't remember that on the record.
I don't recall.
Maybe it is.
Well, like the minutes. Yeah, the minutes we have copies.
No, we don't. We have September's. I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying I don't personally remember. And
I mean, before we chastise the chairman for not attending today,
I didn't chastise. No one chastised him. We were just saying I got an email last night that he requested a continuance. We're giving him that.
I agree with you. No one's chastising. We're just for the record.
Very, very minor.
Oh boy.
All right. So
Merry Christmas.
at the end of the day,
Merry Christmas.
the Gary precincts 326 and 46. Did I get that right this time? Okay. Will be set for the January meeting, and we're encouraging the communication between the parties to hopefully resolve this so that we don't have to make a decision. We will if we have to, but thank you, they can come to some agreement. All right. Back to the agenda. Next order of business is precinct establishment order. Michelle or Jessica?
So we received the approval from the state election division on the precincts. Legal ads will be published, and if no challenges are heard, then the precincts will go into effect. If there are challenges, then the state election division should be having a meeting.
Okay, so is there any action by the board that needs to happen?
There will be under county authorization forms, but right now that's all you got for this. It's just an update.
All right, any questions of the board for Michelle?
Any questions on this? We should do a county authorization, right? Or
Sounds like no action at this point.
yes, that's fine.
Okay. Is there any other old business? Okay, hearing none. New business. We have a agenda item listed as Garcia requests 5A. This is a request from Robert Garcia regarding the early voting change location to East Chicago. It's my understanding, same email received by Chairman Niemeyer. He would like to speak on this on behalf of East Chicago, and indicating to the board that he is the authority to speak on these matters. And so we're deferring this to January as well, as my understanding. That'll be put on the January agenda. Okay, there's nothing else on that matter. The next is contract approval for 2026. These are for our board attorney services for both Culver and Eichhorn, specifically Ms. Brandenburg of Eichhorn and Eichhorn. Is there any questions before we entertain motions to approve both those contracts?
Mr. Chairman,
Mr.
do we have enough room here for the piece of strike?
We don't know who's going to be convening.
Then we file it outside with the 2-minute potato sandwich.
Can we just strike the Brandenburg and make it Carly at the
Did I
last
say,
meeting?
did I say Brandy just now?
No, you didn't. It's
On the
on the
contract.
contract.
I think we should leave it as.
I like Brandy.
I mean, I did hunt extensively for a husband with a suitable last name to go with Brandy. That was hard work.
I had one comment. I thought the last time around this time of the year, there was an issue with modifying the contracts to allow for the firms and not necessarily the individual lawyers in case we need to have other folks pitch in for us. So I would just respectfully request that modification.
Yeah, I think, so you're saying that your contract should read Culver to Culver, not you of Culver to
It
Culver?
could be Michael Tolbert or Carly Brandenburg and Eichhorn and Eichhorn. I think it,
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. And the way they read right now, they're individual contracts. They're like Michael E. Tolbert of Tolbert and
Yes.
Tolbert LLC. Are you okay with that? Or do you want it to say and?
I would ask them to say and.
I think
I think and is more appropriate as well.
Mr.
So,
Chairman,
So instead of.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve the contracts with the attorneys' names and their corresponding firms.
all right.
But I would like to keep Brandy Brandenburg.
I would like Carly to just change her name.
Yes, if we could just get her to change her name by the end of the meeting. that'd be great.
I'll second if you can ignore the last part of it.
All right, we have a motion to approve the
Last page.
attorney contracts as presented outside of the one change to use the word and instead of after Ms. Brandenburg and Mr. Culver's name. The motion was by Mr. Mellon, the second is by Clerk Brown. Is there any discussion on that motion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Those motion carries. Congratulations and thank you, of course, for all the services you both do for the board. All right, next matter is campaign finance. Who's here for that, Lori?
We also had
Oh,
other
I'm sorry.
contracts.
I'm sorry. Okay, moving right along. Microvote, sorry, vendor contracts for leases, lease purchase agreements, maintenance agreements, rental agreements, and service contracts. This is 6C Microvote. Any questions or comments on the board, for the board of staff regarding this contract?
I do have one comment about these contracts as well. I think the full reported contracts are in there as well.
6D is boss reporters, yes.
When I looked at these contracts and I also talked to Michelle at the last meeting, I think Ms. Brandenburg was present at that meeting. There was an issue with whether or not the service provider and the election board could terminate these contracts early. So when I looked at the contracts, it looks like they were specific to the service provider and not necessarily the board. I made contact with Matt Fetch, and he indicated that it should be a dual termination, so the language should read dually. So wherever it says, for instance, on the note contract, if you look at page 47 of the noting agreement, it has termination of this agreement, it reads the service provider. That language should probably say the parties may terminate. So you don't necessarily just give the service provider the ability to early terminate. It should be good.
And we want the same rights they have.
So it's mutual.
That's right, mutual termination.
So what's the word we need in?
It should just be the parties may terminate this agreement at any time.
Yeah, so mutual termination clauses included in all of them, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to approve those contracts, microvote, Foster 40, knowing, and there's two knowing ones, 61 and 62 with those provisions. A motion by Mr. Reed, second by Clerk Brown, to approve those contracts. Any further discussion on those? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, any opposed? That motion carries, those contracts are approved.
Yeah.
All right, now moving on.
Wait, you still have one more. Knowing provided us with both a 1 year or a 3 year. The 3 year, of course, will be a better deal. It's keeping the costs at where we were versus going up. So we provided you with both and giving you the option of what you want to enter into, the 1 year or 3 year.
I mean, I think don't we have better flexibility by going 1 year though? Because if we need to make any changes, we'll be under the ability to
We would still
revise
be
it.
out if we didn't want to be in there with saying any parties would be able to.
Technically, I believe I haven't looked at the agreement, but it would be potentially with notice, so 90 days notice. So I don't think it would be immediate, but you have some flexibility there.
So if we go 3 year, we can still terminate, is that what we're saying?
I need that.
Yeah.
Right. But it does say it's 90-day notice.
90-day notice, okay. So the 3 year deal is a better deal, not money wise though.
Yes.
Okay, and we have the ability to terminate. John, you're comfortable with that? The 90 days?
I am, but I mean, like you said, though, only if it says both parties, not just the service provider. In that regard, I would be okay with it. If they won't agree to that, and I suspect they won't, because this is really just a 90-day contract. If we can terminate when we want, why would they give us better pricing for what could be a 90-day contract?
The strange
I don't think they're gonna allow it.
and the reason it was good that Mr. Tolbert talked about that, just because these are the county's forms. Like, why would, it may be very likely that Philly would sign with that, provision change, because it's the county's form. The county should change its form.
So I think that I'm okay with the 3 year. I'll entertain a motion to accept either of them. Personally, I'm okay with the 3 years as long as we have the 90-day out. It's mutual.
Okay, then I'll make a motion that we enter into the 1 year contract if we, as the customer, I don't know how we're defined in here, have the ability to cancel the agreement with 90-day notice, and not just the service provider. If we can cancel it, then I'd be okay with the 3 year deal.
Okay, so
That's the
is
motion.
understood. Thank you. I didn't mean to interrupt you there. Mr. Reed's motion, I believe, is to go with the 3 year, provided we have the 90-day mutual cancellation, but if not, we'll go with the 1 year.
Excellent, yes.
All right. Is there a second on that motion? Second by Ms. Candelaria. Motion by Mr. Reed on the no-meet contract. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries, and I believe that's all the contracts. All right, hearing that there are no further contracts, moving on to campaign finance. Sorry for that hiccup, Lori. We're back to campaign finance, 7A.
Okay, I believe we have a couple folks here for campaign finance.
Okay. Yes, I can swear in anybody who is here for campaign finance. I'm sorry I don't have everybody's listing like we usually do on the agenda. It just says campaign finance for me today. Who is here for campaign finance? All right, if you could all please raise your right hand. You don't have to stand up, and I'll swear you in.
Well, I'm here because I turned in a report late.
Yeah, because you're going to give testimony for the board. Sorry, I just have to swear you in real quick. You testify that you swear the testimony you're about to give us word will be true, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. All right, thank you. We'll show you duly sworn. Lori, who's first?
Okay, yes, we have the Friends of Lake Central Schools.
All right.
They
Hi.
were 9 minutes late, unfortunately, for their
Whoa.
presentation report. And so it would be, the assessed fine would be $50. However, the recommended fine according to the community would be that we waive it because it's less than 5 days.
All right, and are you Ms. Upchurch?
I am.
Hi, good morning. And you are the treasurer of the Frontal Lake Central School. All right, thanks for coming, Mr. Miller.
I'll make a motion to assess the $50 fine.
Second.
So,
have to do
just,
this.
we have, I know, yes, I'm just gonna, I just wanna make sure we get the discussion. We have a motion by Mr. Miller to assess the fine, second by Mr. Reed, discussion.
I just wanted to make sure for the record that once we put the fine, then we can waive it after.
Correct, it's more of a procedural
All
issue.
right, no problem, thank you.
All right, all those in favor of assessing fine, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Is there another motion?
Mr. Chairman, I think the fine considering the circumstances is erroneous or it's too much of a burden.
Unjust.
And quite frankly, unjust. I would make a motion to waive said fine.
All right, we have a motion, Mr. Miller, to waive the fine. Second by Mr. Reed. Is there any discussion?
Chairman.
Hearing no discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion, fee is waived. Thank you for coming. I'm sorry you had to come down for that. We're trying to keep it around 9 minutes. I don't know if we're need that or. Thanks for coming. You can stay or leave. It's up to you. Thank you. And next,
Yeah, the second issue, we have Ms. Hernandez Forge here.
Councilwoman.
Would like to talk about the $1,000 fine that she had been assessed for a previous report. She has turned in everything. She has nothing in her account. She'd like to speak on that?
Absolutely. Councilwoman, hi, good morning.
Hello,
Thanks for
good
coming down.
morning.
Yes.
So I am here. We did have issues with trying to complete the count. We had some hiccups of what was actually turned in and not turned in, so it did take a little bit of time. I actually ended up getting a new job, so it just allowed me to come down here. I took the days off to make sure that, one, I'm here. Two, I actually completed all the tasks and all the paperwork as necessary. So I am asking to have the fine waived. I am in debt already, obviously, into the account. So with that being said, this is the reason for being here. I did attend at the beginning of the year, or at the beginning of the process, all of the, some of the items that you go and they teach you how to do the kind of finances. Unfortunately, some stuff kind of gets in the hiccup, so hopefully I'll learn as we move forward. That's the goal.
Lori, what was the history on this one?
Right, so it was a 2023 annual report that was missing, and we sent her the information to be able to disband her account. She had nothing in it. However, now the law changed, and if you're sitting elected official, you have to keep your account open. So she thought she had done everything to close it, but now she can't close it. So
Because she's an elected official.
because she's an elected
Even though there's zero in it.
zero in it, has to stay open. So she was assessed it as if it was open and she was disregarding things, but that's not actually the case.
Okay. And so, go ahead, Mr. Mellon.
How many times has it been late in the past?
This is the third time late in the history of her.
And then that, is that counting 23, 24, 25 as the 3 times?
It is 23 to 24.
So the lateness all had to do with that change in the law. Okay, so it wasn't late prior to that.
I don't understand the change.
Sorry, it was late, but she had gotten her account down to 0 and thought she could disband. And we were waiting for her disband paperwork when the new law went into place that you're not allowed to disband if you're
You're an
sitting
elected
elected
So
official.
it was late legitimately one time. And what she was requesting at that time was she was saying, I'm late. And we explained, well, there's a fresh start program. You can close out your stuff, or there's a disband program. You can disband your account. And then the legislature changed. So that activity did take place, that first
She
time.
was in fact late 3 times because it was open. So,
The law changed.
So I have a question. When it was open, was there any activity on the account, or did it just stay dormant those 3 times?
she had, you know what, I could let Ms. Hernandez.
Yeah, so-
Yes, Councilman, go ahead.
So from the first date that it had to be disbanded in the sense, it was late then, yes. So then afterwards, as I was trying to fix and understand whether or not I had to close the account or not, that's when it came into play, because I ended up having to do 2 other paperwork afterwards. There was email back and forth in regards to that, so trying to understand the process.
And then,
Mr. Mellon.
were you notified by the staff that your account was in a delinquency status after the first time? So from what I'm understanding, and I just want to try to kind of get through it in my whole head here, is you were late, and the staff said, look, you can apply to disband your account, but then the law changed, so then you couldn't disband that account.
Correct.
So then did you know that you had to continue reporting at that time, or did you not know that?
So even to the day I came on Friday, I did ask when I came in, I said, I'm trying to understand what I actually need to do. So there was emails that went back and forth. There was still just a confusion. So then I ended up coming in person to further understand exactly what was needed of me,
The emails that went back and forth, who were those from?
myself and Lord.
Okay, and in those emails, what was she explaining to you? Do you remember?
That there was a law change, and that was for the most part. The law change, you can do this or this. So I had paperwork come in, someone brought in paperwork that had something that wasn't what was required. They asked for something else. So that's why I personally came into actually a conversation.
So the first time you started receiving emails from Lori to kind of explain what needed to be done, when was that?
Oh, I couldn't tell you offhand. I had to check my email.
So, Councilman, you believe you were late one time, and then, well, I'm saying at least you know you were late once.
Correct.
And then that's when the whole disband and trying to figure out
The
what you needed
confusion
to do.
afterwards,
And now she's all good to go.
She has filed all the paperwork, yes, and she's had nothing in her account since October of 2020.
Okay. So zero balance.
And so this originally started in 2023.
Right.
Right, okay. So it seems like a long period of time. Like, so there were communications back and forth in 2023, 2024, and then now 2025 even. So it seems like a long period of time. But what was the reason?
Just a confusion, overall confusion of what was actually needed from me again. And so I finally took the date off to show up in person to handle that information. If I would have had time within my schedule and not changing jobs, then I probably would have been here earlier.
All right. So, Councilman, well, I think the board's trying to figure out what to do with this. We do stick to a kind of a standard fine schedule, so it's just a matter, I think, of figuring out how many times.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Mellon.
The argument becomes, what are we trying to accomplish here? I think we're trying to accomplish transparency in election laws and in public finance. So that all this stuff is transparent to the public so they can pull these accounts. It was $0. There wasn't a lot there, but there was a lack of compliance, and it took a significant amount of time to correct the issue. Under the canary sheet, under kind of like our previous ways of doing things, I think we could go as high as $60 on this. I kind of look at a split the difference sort of scenario with this and say, why don't we go with, there was certainly one time late, and that would be the $10. And then I think the 2 years of confusion, maybe that applies to another time late. So I would make a motion to assess a fine of $20 and move forward on this account.
All right. There's a motion to assess a fine of $20. Do we have a second?
I'd be talking to you.
I think second based on the time that she put forth to try to get this resolved, the fact that the account was dormant, and that the state changed the law saying you have to have it.
Yeah, I think looking at compliance, I'm always about compliance. I always think better late than never, right? I'd like to get it, but I understand the need for transparency too. But with the zero balance, I think that also cuts in favor of the councilwoman. So I'm good with that as well. I think it's commensurate with kind of our fine schedule and what we, set forth as being standard.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Could we add some injustice?
Yes, and I think it would be unjust to impose $1,000 fine.
Well, that was implicit in my motion. So yes, I would make to clarify my motion was to assess a $20 fine due to the injustice of the $1,000 fine.
Second by Clerk Brown, motion by Mr. Mellon. Any further discussion?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, once again, this lets people know that even elected officials like herself and myself have an extremely difficult time trying to raise money as well as to serve the community. So I think it's very important that we try and show our sense of sympathy and understanding for someone who's working hard.
Thank you, Clerk Brown. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Councilman, for coming down. Thanks for everything you do.
Thank you so much.
All right, moving on. Lori, we're good? No more campaign finance? All right. Next matter before the board is, number 8 on my iPad, which is county authorization forms. And we have some unmerging of the following records. Anybody want to speak on this? Michelle, Jessica, Jenny? Jerry?
It's just a glitch within the system on that one. They were two voters that were combined. It had, the driver's license number was associated with both, but on the record, it's clearly showing that they are two separate people. And usually we can unmerge it, but for some reason it's kind of stuck in the system. So the state will need to unmerge it.
Okay,
This is Cedar Lake.
this is 8A, just 2 people.
Right, which is in Cedar Lake. And all of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Motion to approve this county authorization form related to these two voters. Motion, Mr. Reed, second. Second by Ms. Candelaria Reardon. Any discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. 8B, county authorization precinct splits. Anybody?
1 second, I'm just making just something on the contract.
Carla, you might.
Okay, so the second county authorization is going to be contingent on the precinct final approval. This would be updating the precinct key to reflect the precinct changes that we just had in that order, as well as removing the ones that the Secretary of State did. So this is contingent upon the passage of the precincts. I need this done, we can do it now, or we can set another meeting for the end of the year that you will have to come back on. Because without those precinct splits being in there, I can't move the voters, as well as the new precincts that we created due to the number of registered voters in the precinct. Remembering that we cannot have a precinct over 2,000 active voters. We had 3 of those where we created a new one. And if I can't change the precinct key, there's no place for the voters to go to.
So is the red, we have a printout and then there's like a red line.
Right.
Right, so explain the red line, like how did that get involved?
So those would be the precincts that are being eliminated. So the very first page, or the first one you're going to see is Cedar Lake 11. That's where we created a new precinct that was split from, I want to say it was Cedar Lake 5. As you scroll down, you'll see East Chicago 2. The plan that was submitted to this election division combined precincts 2 and 3. And so 2 would be eliminated, precinct 3 would remain. Same thing with East Chicago 24 would be eliminated, East Chicago 23, the voters from 24 will go to 23. Going down, Gary 2-3, that was one that the Secretary of State did. So it's just taking that off. Gary 4-14, same thing, Secretary of State order. Gary 5-13, I believe 5-6 went together with 5-13. Griffith 1 was creating a split, and that is what the Secretary of State did. Griffith 5 would be eliminated, Griffith 12 and 15 would be eliminated. Those were both, all 3 of those last 3 were Secretary of State orders.
Yeah, so Michelle, so are the interlineations the red, and I didn't mean for you to have to go through all of them, but are the interlineations in red, is that based upon the changes by the Secretary of State?
If you see SOS off to the far side, that is the Secretary of State orders, and the other ones would be the changes that the state had just recently approved.
Okay.
So it's a combination of both.
Got it. Jessica, do you want to be heard on this?
So basically, me personally, I don't think we should be overriding the Secretary of State's order. I understand that there's some differences in interpretation to it, and obviously I'm not an attorney. But that being said, I do understand that some of these are from the Secretary of State's order, which I would venture to be as correct. But that being said, the ones that are just being deleted from East Chicago or various other, I'm just looking at the East Chicago one. I don't agree with those because those are not what the order from the Secretary of State were.
Okay, so what's on here isn't necessarily from the Secretary of State. So we had a meeting, we sent down our proposal, Secretary of State changed it based upon their interpretation of the statute or what they have the ability to do. And then what happened to it from there? Is that where we're at right now, basically?
So the ones that were not unanimous,
Right.
as well as one of the unanimous ones, I believe, he had made changes to our precinct order, put those back because his order created a lot of splits.
Okay, when you say our precinct order,
So the precinct order that the election board did
yes,
is we put those, we went back to the initial, what the board had approved originally.
okay,
And so we put those back. And so now the state election division has approved those. A legal notice is being published. And then if any parties want to challenge it, they can challenge it by doing a written notice to the state election division. If a challenge is sent, then the state election division usually holds a meeting and they will determine if the precinct goes through. That's why I said this is contingent upon the final approval of the precinct.
so,
If there's a challenge made and they don't go through, then the order doesn't go through. But filing is going to open January 6th. We need to have voters in their correct spots. Case in point, why I'm saying if we don't do this now, contingent, then I will need the board members to set a meeting for as close to the end of the year as possible.
okay, Mr. Collins.
So, we submitted a plan to the Secretary of State. The Secretary of State altered that plan. And then we submitted the original plan to the state election board, who then you're saying approved that. Did the board submit that plan, or was that staff that submitted that plan to the state election board for approval?
It was the board.
This was the meeting that, Mr. Fetch served, I believe, as proxy for, Mr.
For me.
Smith, and it was a 3-2
Oh,
vote
gotcha,
to
gotcha,
essentially
yes.
override some of the things that the Secretary of State had said, and go back to what the 3-2 split.
Right, so there was a 3-2 split initially,
Right.
and then there was a 3-2 split. But then there was a 3-2 split by the board. Secretary of State adopted something else, came back to us. There was a 3-2 split by the board again to submit it to the election division. Now it's back at us, and you want another vote on it. Do what you guys do.
Right. Okay.
3-2.
Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to, entertain a motion then.
Mr. Chairman?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Jessica, yes.
Can I just a clarifying question? So hypothetically, if there is a challenge to this, do you still have to have a second meeting to approve this again?
Sounds like after we do I'll defer to the lawyers, but the way I would look at it is, once we make this action, then it goes down. I assume there's an objection to it, and the division makes the final call. I don't think it comes back to us.
That's the way I understand.
Or you get a court would order,
Sure.
to
So-
stop it.
Whether the administrative exhaustion was required to go to the
Election division first, yeah.
So, Mr. Chair, the original cuts by this board was based on the agreement that the Secretary of State sent to us on 600 or more in a precinct of no more than 2,000, right?
I think the originals we voted, I think Leanne was a proxy, maybe Carly was a proxy.
That's correct.
We originally voted.
Right. But in that vote, the Secretary of State said it can't be under 600 precincts, because that's why we,
Well, the statute says that.
right, that's what the statute said. That's why we, deleted some precincts, combined up precincts. And then there was the issue about 2,000 or more. And then we sent that down in good faith to the Secretary of State's office, and then they made changes. And then when it came back to us, we voted on what we thought was in good faith with the Secretary of State's report. And that's where I'm at.
So at this point, what's before us is the county authorization for request for state system administrator updates in SVRS related to the following, I'm sorry, I read the wrong what's before us is the county authorization request for state system authorization updates and SVRS related to the precinct split dated 12/4/25. And this would be then sent down to the state, Michelle, right? If approved.
So once the time frame has expired for challenging, if there are no challenges, then. the
No, I'm just saying,
process
our
will
action today is then sent down to the state.
Yes,
Okay,
but not until the precincts are finally approved.
got it. Right, we're not saying this is the final approval because it's subject to objection.
This is not going today. This will not go until the deadline expires and the state says your precincts are now approved.
Okay. All right, any other questions of staff? All right, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion then to approve the county authorization.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry, Mr.
Yes,
Chairman.
Mr. Mellon.
Any motions that are made, could I request that, that notification to the board be given immediately when notification is made as to the date and the publication?
Motion, like the motion. I mean,
If anybody makes any kind of motion, can we direct staff in that motion to notify the board as to when that notification takes place? Which I think we're entitled to know.
Are you
Need a
talking?
motion
legal
by the
notice?
board?
Well, go ahead.
No, I think there's only a 10-day objection period.
There's only 10 days.
So if we don't get notice,
We can't object.
Oh, when does, you mean notify the board of when the objection period starts?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure. You just
Yeah,
say notify
that's-
us of any motion. I didn't-
No, in the motion, could you notify us of the notification?
Objection period.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, okay, all right. So,
Prior to it.
yes, let me try to state it and if you have any issue. Okay, so the chair will entertain a motion. Michelle.
The legal ad is in today's paper, so there's your notice. It's in the-
often I don't look at the legal notice part of the paper. We're board members. I mean, we could get a copy, right?
Absolutely, and then we'll get the verification as soon as tomorrow.
When does the, do you know when
I
the
like to
objection
go to
period
paper as
starts?
much as the next
Today.
one.
Okay, so the objection period starts today, apparently.
Wait, so has it already been put in the paper?
So the legal ad is running today in the Northwest Indiana Times. It is based on what what the state election division sent to us. The Times is running today, the post already ran, but we gave it, no, because you've already voted on the precincts and therefore we got the order from the state. And so the legal ad notice goes in the paper. It has to be completed before December 31st. So the legal ad goes in, the complaint process starts today. They have until the 19th. And therefore, that is when the time expires on the 19th.
Do you have a copy of that legal notice?
Jessica,
I just want to say, number one, I've never even seen this legal notice. I've never heard about this legal notice. The legal notice that's in the board packet is a template sent down from the Indiana Election Division. I have no knowledge.
We don't know if it's accurate.
whatsoever.
Where's the legal notice in
You'll
the board
have a copy of
packet?
it as soon as we go downstairs.
So Michelle, I asked you for this copy yesterday, and you it was in the packet. I
Where-
did.
okay, hold on.
Yes.
Hold on, please. Where's the copy of the legal notice? In our board
The
packet.
template is there on the back, but I can
That is a
give it
template.
to you, because that's what the state sent me, so I put in what the state sent us.
And I asked
And I
you for the
did.
copy, and you told me it was in the packet, which is a template.
I could get you one from downstairs, but that's not what you asked me for, but I
I
have it
did.
downstairs. I can get it to you downstairs.
So without board action, Mr. Chairman, the legal notice started today. Is that correct?
But I would say the board has already approved, so I don't know why
I
she
know.
has to go back to get approval.
Yeah, I
Well,
think.
Well, for starters, I don't know what this document is, it's our board that's issuing this legal notice, correct? It's not the staff of the election board, it's our board. I have no idea what this document is. I have no idea if it's accurate to the Secretary of State's orders, if it's accurate to, the Indiana Election Division's, approval. I have no idea.
I'll forward it to you right now.
From what I understand, though, at least from what I can gather, is that the notice that was published had to do with prior action of the board,
Correct.
not current action.
Correct.
Okay. All right, so
But
we'll wait. I mean-
But it's my notice and I haven't seen it yet.
Okay,
So under
You
my
can copy
name,
that.
you're issuing a notice that I didn't even
Under the
get to
board's
look at.
name. But, I mean,
Right, which I'm a member of.
of course. So we'll get you a copy of the notice that went out that had to do with prior action of the board.
And Mr. Chairman, if I have a problem with it because there's an inaccuracy, how am I gonna change that?
We would submit a corrected legal notice.
At what meeting?
I guess whatever meeting we can set to have it.
Which has to be done by the end of the year. So are you gonna schedule another meeting
If need
right
be.
now so that I can properly review this document and make changes to it if I need?
You're more than welcome to schedule an additional meeting if you want at the time we schedule the next meeting. But we will get you notice. We will get you a copy of it. I haven't seen it either, but,
There's more to get to right now.
as it relates to the current matter before the board, which is the county authorization related to the precinct split, I'll entertain a motion to approve it as presented and pursuant to Mr. Mellon's request, notify the board members of the objection period immediately upon the setting of the objection period, which I understand starts today and goes to the next.
Motion to approve, Mr. Chair.
I have a motion to approve. Is there a second? Second, Ms. Candelaria, any discussion? Motion by Clerk Brown.
Mr. Chairman,
Mellon.
This does not follow the Secretary of State's order. I think that the overriding authority is the Secretary of State, and I think that we're overstepping our bounds by approving this.
All right, any other discussion? I guess, at least the original plan that I participated in, I wasn't here at the last, motion to move down to the state. I felt that we complied with the state statute as it pertains to splits and to small precincts. And we made a good effort to get those down in good faith. The original one, I didn't see that. I wasn't here for the second. Any other discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nay.
Nay.
All right, motion carries 3 in favor, 2 against. Next matter of business is the Democratic delegate districts. I assume these are up for the state convention. I don't know if we've done the Republicans already. I feel like
So the Republicans were
Did already.
done, last meeting or the meeting before, I believe.
Yep.
And so these are the Democrat ones that have to be submitted by December 31st. So there's, for the record.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the Democratic delegate districts as presented.
Mr. To
So
approve.
moved.
All right, motion by Mr. Mellon,
Second.
second by Clerk Brown for approval of 2026 Democratic delegate districts for convention. Any further discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye, any opposed? Motion carries. We have an election board scheduled, at least currently for next year, as it relates to our election board meetings. I assume this has gone through everybody. Jessica, Michelle.
I'll make a motion to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Motion to approve the 2026 board meeting schedule. Jessica.
I just want to make one comment on this, if it's okay.
Yeah.
I did check this versus the council meeting for next year, so that we don't have any additional conflicts. As it sits right now, there's no conflict, as long as nobody makes any addendums or changes to their schedule.
And it goes to the commissioners as well.
I didn't do commissioners because they're on a different day than us.
Got it.
But the problem is we usually have meetings on Tuesdays, both of us.
Got it.
And then if you move a week, we can flip.
Anything to get me out of this small chair, I'd appreciate, so thank you for checking me.
Keep in mind, we do not know when the next.
You're gonna love seeing the
conference will be.
videotape of watching my switch of chair. All right, and thank you for checking that. All right, any further discussion on the schedule?
Seconded the motion.
I'm sorry, the motion was made,
I don't think,
did
did anybody make a motion?
okay, I'm sorry, is there a motion? I thought you did make the motion, Mr.
Oh, I
Mellon made the
did, yes.
motion. Is there a second by Clerk Brown to approve the 2026 calendar? Thank you, Beth. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, any opposed? That motion carries. The next board meeting of this board, at least currently, I'm sorry, I'm skipping ahead. I see no correspondence. Council report, Ms. Brandenburg. Mr. Tolbert. I don't see any purchase orders. The current next meeting of this board will be on January 20th, 2026 at 10 a.m. in the Commissioners courtroom currently. Is there any public comment? Public comment? Public comment. Public comment's closed. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Oh, happy holidays. Happy New Year.
All right, happy holidays, everyone.
Happy New Year. Good to see you again.
Motion to adjourn. I'd make a motion to adjourn.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, we are adjourned at 10:04. Are we off yet, Joel?
Mike.